one back in the second half if they use one of their first half ones. A total of 3, I think is how it works.
Yes.
Anyhow, and then a first half and a second half challenge. So
I do always
back
say
to
this.
normal scoring.
I assume that if you're watching Derby in your free time on a Sunday, you probably know how the rules work. But just in case,
Sure.
I do like to go ahead and give a quick overview. The 30-second "Here's What You Missed on Glee" version of Derby. Both teams are going to put 5 players out on this track that consists of 4 blockers and 1 jammer each. The jammers are going to start a little behind the pack. Their job is to break through this pack as quick as they can. Once they're through, they're going to try to do a lap real quick. And once they get back to the pack, they're going to start picking up 1 point for every member of the opposite team that they pass. The jam lasts for 1 minute unless it's called off. The first jammer to break out is the lead jammer. They control the ability to call off the jam. So the strategy is to get as many points as you can while keeping an eye on the other jammer and calling it off before they have the opportunity to get points of their own. Right now we're seeing this Arizona jammer break out and pick up lead. Who is that? Is that
Evil Twin.
That is Evil Twin jamming for Arizona, and that is Boomer of the Birthday Boomer jamming for Slam Diego.
Boomer's got that star off, and that's another thing we can mention in Roller Derby 101 is the jammer is allowed to take that star off and hand it to the pivot. That's the other skater with a helmet cover on wearing that stripe. The pivot can take over as jammer, and that can be a way to get your jammer out of the pack.
Yes, if the jammer gets stuck, they can pop that star off and hand it off to that pivot and give them the opportunity to kind of get ahead with it.
So Malaboomer does get out and forces the call off by Evil Twin. Arizona's going to start the scoring with 3 points in the first jam. And next up on the jammer line for Arizona is Dolly Spartan. Your jammer for San Diego is Rogue Rammer.
Well. It is the Rogue Rammer back on the jam line.
I was going to say, having Malaboomer and Rogue Rammer as your first 2 jammers sounds like solid coaching.
Yes.
All right, everybody's checking in.
Looks like we got 1 in the box for Arizona. Yes. Oh, we got quite a few in the box for it. We got 2 arms penalties and a
skating out of bounds.
Skating out of bounds, but looks like it was too many people, so they actually put Jags back out there.
Yes.
Oop, and Dolly Spartan is through for lead.
So what that means is one of the penalties for San Diego will be served in the following jam, so San Diego already knows they'll be down a blocker in the next one. That San Diego jammer is trying to get clear, and Hollywood's out of play, so Rogue Rammer gets to go on by.
And Dolly's going to go ahead and call it off.
A good effort there for Rogue Rammer to get clear. Really had to go up against those front blockers by herself and was able to get through that pack and force the call off.
That was 4 points for Arizona on that last one. And it looks like Rogue may have picked up a penalty, which means this is going to be, Rogue picked up an arms penalty along with Iggy Cox, which means that this is now going to be an Arizona Power Jam. Power Jam is when there's only 1 jammer out there on the track, which means that Arizona now only has to worry about helping their jammer get ahead. They don't have to worry about blocking another jammer, so it's a significant advantage for them. And indeed, that is Jaeger picking up out of that pack nice and early. San Diego's also down 1 blocker, so they are missing their jammer, and they also have a pack disadvantage, so this puts Arizona in a very nice position to widen this lead quite a bit.
Arizona's got the San Diego pivot pinned in the back, and now they're going to break forward and let the goad situation resolve itself. Jaeger gets blocked out. Good defense on the back of the pack by San Diego. Jaeger's still able to get through. 22 seconds left in this Arizona Power Jam.
Oof. And Jaeger just absolutely breaking through, not even slowing down.
Jaeger approaching the pack once again. There's 8 seconds left in the Power Jam now, and Slamurai.
Very nice.
Excellent block by Slamurai. Came off the track also, but Jaeger had completely spent their momentum by then.
Yeah, that Slam Cox duo is one to watch because you will find that a lot of the big blocking moves, it's going to be the 2 of them. Uh-oh, I heard at least a directional on somebody.
Yeah, we've got 2 Arizona blockers in the penalty box right now. However, Arizona did just put up 17 points in that Power Jam for Scary Jaeger. So, small pack, we got the minimum out there right now. Malaboomer and Skid Vicious, respectively.
Oh, boy.
Skid is out. Malaboomer is trying to get around the Arizona pivot and gets an assist. And wow, dipsy-do around Murder Mittens to get clear. Try to keep this to one scoring attempt for Skid Vicious. Great block on the back end of the pack by the San Diego pivot once again. Skid gets up and calls it off.
We've got Rogue Rammer returning to the jam line for Slam Diego up against someone who's bending too far down for me to see their number.
Well, that is going to be Hurricane May.
Aha!
Is who that is. So let's see. Underway, Jam 5. May is bouncing around and gets clear, heading down into the corner for Arizona. Rogue Rammer's got the star off. That's probably not a secret at this point. It's been several seconds. Now Rogue Rammer's going to break out and try to go again. Oh, look out. Big tumble. Arizona
and
Jammer.
that pack is spread out there. It's going to force them to let Rogue go. And Rogue's going to be picking up speed, looking to force this call off as quickly as possible. And indeed, that is exactly what happens.
Yeah, Strange got knocked down and rolled right into the path of Hurricane May, and they both went down in a heap. So that was to the favor of San Diego to limit the amount of scoring chances. This will be Dolly Spartan for Arizona, Malaboomer once again for Slam Diego. But before that, we're going to have our first timeout of the game. Let's find out. What is it, Freya? Apparently, it's a timeout blue. So, timeout Slam Diego here in the early going. 9:29 to go in the first quarter. Arizona 32, Slam Diego at the moment, no score. Let's tell you about some of our tournament sponsors. We've been touting them all weekend. We would love to let you know about Phoenix Roller Derby. Not only sponsored our tournament this weekend, but also let us borrow their humongous evaporative coolers, which is great. They hold bouts during the summer in a warehouse like ours, so they have this equipment. We're only a winter league. So yeah, they loaned us those, which was also huge, and we really appreciate it. Phoenix Roller Derby is a local roller derby league, flat track. They do USAR's rule set. Phoenix, Arizona. They offer a safe space for people to learn to skate and play the sport of roller derby. Their league is made up of individuals who are passionate about the sport, dedicated to supporting each other both on and off the track. It's an open gender league as well. Their next bout is coming up on June 14th. That is 2 weeks from yesterday. And they're going to have a pancake fundraiser June 21st. So thanks again, Phoenix Roller Derby.
I would like to shout out Noelle, Boomer's mom, for sponsoring my little telescope here so that I can see all the penalties. We've got one in the box for San Diego. That's A.E. Cox in the box on an arms penalty. And that is Boomer up against Dolly Spartan on that jam line.
Dolly patiently approaching the pack and now trying to look for an opening.
Ooh, Akira's all over it, though. Meanwhile, Boomer is having a tough time getting past this three wall in the back. That three wall holding Boomer effectively enough that they can spare their pivot to head up to the front to help out with a little bit of O.
Pivot now is Hollyhood waiting for the pack to catch up halfway through this jam, and Dolly Spartan finally breaks free around the outside. I was going to say, outside of the one outlier power jam, San Diego has been really up to the task on defense so far. Been several jams. They're most often getting their jammer out. So Dolly now along the inside does get that scoring pass completed. Boomer tries to sneak by on the inside but gets blocked out by Hollyhood.
Coming back around, you can see, some really nice O being played there by, who was that? I think, no, I can't tell who it was, but it was really nice O.
I believe I just heard two penalties come in on Hollyhood in one jam. So I heard an arms and then I heard another 6-2-3.
Yeah, I see Ralphie in the box, and I saw Ralphie high five somebody that's behind somebody that I can't see. So that's at least two people for San Diego in the box.
Yeah. Of note, the San Diego bout that I saw on Friday, they were very penalty heavy at the end. That's why Rogue Rammer and Boomer were doing so much. So that's another thing to keep an eye on in a full-length bout.
Yeah, that's Rogue Rammer. And picking up lead. That is San Diego's first lead with, who is this?
That's Evil Twin.
That's Evil Twin hot on Rogue's heels. Rogue's going to be looking to pick up a couple points and then call it off pretty quick, I think. But look at her. She's having the time of her life, you can tell. And calls it right off. We'll see. Yep, eked out one little point, putting San Diego on the board.
2 points.
And the crowd goes wild.
A second point came up from McWinkle after you
Oh,
looked down.
yes.
So they're...
That was San Diego's first lead of this game. We'll see if that turns the tide a little bit for them.
And Arizona does put a couple points on the board, but you could see from San Diego there, the goal was to break the ice, and it caught back up to the pack. This is Malaboomer this time for Slam Diego. Arizona's jammer is Lightning the Queen, I believe. No, it's Princess Leia. Sorry. There's a glare from outside, I swear. That is Malaboomer, who is out now and is catching up. Slaya down to the inside, gets blocked off, pops back up on the track, has to recover. Malaboomer takes over. Lead change back. Who's
change
ahead?
again.
Malaboomer is in lead again.
Oh my
Malaboomer
goodness.
is lead jammer and calls it off.
Very nice.
Once
My
again,
goodness.
with the excellent blocking by San Diego, it's really standing out. All right, Arizona's going to use one of their first half timeouts, so we'll step aside. That was 3 more points for San Diego. 6:15 left to go in the first quarter, 49-5 at the moment. If you are looking for a tasty bite to eat here in the arena at halftime, your 2 food trucks outside. We have J&J's Louisiana Barbecue, which was here on Friday. Everybody raved about it. We also have Taqueria Las Palmas, which is a local taco shop. Their food is also wonderful. I know this from having eaten it at their restaurant. So those are your 2 food trucks outside. There'll be a 15-minute half. You can pop out there and get yourself a bite to eat.
Yeah, so far it looks like we've had at least 7 different jammers for Arizona so far. So Arizona's jammer rotation is running pretty deep, which is obviously a pretty significant advantage. In this last game that we had early this morning, all but 1 player on LA played jammed. It was 13 of their 14 players ended up on the jam line at some point or another. It is, I know that is the deepest rotation I have seen in my announcing career.
Yeah, I would have to say that's going to run the gamut.
Yes, the chat was calling it "Oops, all jammers."
Yeah, I recall being at an Arizona roller derby bout, and our friend Gingersaurus Rex is a blocker extraordinaire, and got out to do a jam one time, and everybody went nuts in the stands. Ginger jam, ginger jam, ginger jam.
Oh, looks like we have our very first San Diego Power Jam. It is a Rogue Grammar Power Jam. Don't get distracted by me, Rogie. And Rogue is almost out and gets smacked at the last second, but that's a no pass, no penalty. And
Yeah.
she is able to pull through and get out of the pack nice and early.
Hurricane May with a great quick block, but just popped off the track slightly.
Coming back around the pack, swerving around. Looks like San Diego's trying to catch a goat in the back there. Rogie is pushing, and that's going to force them out of play, and they're going to be forced to let her go. That is 5 points on the board for Rogue Rammer and for Slam Diego. Still with 20 seconds left to go, I'll tell you what, I've seen her do more with less. And there you have it.
That is a tripod at the back of the pack that's formed of Slamurai, Wreck-It Ralph, and Iggy Cox. I would not want to be trying to push through that back wall at the moment. Muerta is giving it all she can. Rogue Rammer finishes a scoring pass and calls it off.
10 full points for San Diego on that last one.
We don't see a lot of tripods in our league. I know that's a thing that usually comes from flat track. So I can definitely say is we don't see a lot of rotating tripods like that. Usually
Yeah.
kind of more of like a grabby claw that kind of sucks in the defender. So no, that was well executed. Beautiful execution of that coming through the turn. You can see they work together a lot.
All right, that is Boomer on the jam line for San Diego. And that's, let's see, who that?
That's Princess Leia.
Aha, yes,
that
Princess
is?
Leia.
So Sleia's up to the front. We got
Boomer's struggling up against the tripod in the back, or I guess it's a 2-wall in the back. Princess Leia managing to break through past that last blocker and pick up lead. Boomer's still a little stuck, it looks like. Oh, and that's a star pass to Hedy Lascar, who takes off like a shot and is now
Absolutely.
booking it. Going to be trying to force this call off. And indeed, that is precisely what happens.
Yeah, that was exactly what we were talking about in the first jam. That star came off and handed right between the two defenders to Hedy Lascar, who then had a clean path to the front, weaved around Hollywood and forced that call off, as you mentioned. Just under 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It's 53-15. This is going to be strange.
This is Valkyr, I believe.
It is.
On
That
the
is
jam line,
Valkyr.
yes, on the jam line for Slam Diego, first time on the jam line, up against Strange for Arizona. Strange looking to break through, getting tripped by their own player. It's a tough call. Valkyr is stuck behind this 3-wall. My goodness, we're getting scrappy up in the front there. This pack is getting awfully spread out. I fear that they are going to be forced to let Strange go at a certain point. Oh, nope, it reforms. My goodness. Oh, beautiful. Oh, by that Arizona pivot. Allowing
Excellent.
Strange to break out.
Excellent clearing back in there by Evil Twin. So, only 15 seconds left in this jam as Strange approaches the pack. Big block at the back of the pack, and a cheer goes up from the San Diego fans. That was Valkyr with that block at the back of the pack while holding the Jammer Star in their hand. My goodness.
Oof. Oh, baby. What a time.
All right. We have Strange parking it in the penalty box. This penalty box visit brought to you by the Pepper Patch, because that's
Yes,
as
I
the
can.
Hummingbird. Okay, sorry. Hey, you know what? We got a request. We got a request from the track.
It's never a good sign when Rogue is in a silly, goofy mood in quarter one.
Yeah, we've got Rogue Rammer on the jammer line. It's a power jam for Slam Diego. It's Rogue Rammer once again.
Let's see if she's as nasty as a Hummingbird, because those guys, they can be real territorial.
Yeah, Rogue Rammer said, please call me the Hummingbird.
Yes. And she's only got 3 blockers out there to help her, and is just pushing. Arizona doing a really solid job of staying in the front of this pack.
Yeah, that was an interesting fake star pass. You saw
Yes.
the pivot take off with a big shot, and Arizona did not fall for it.
They did that a couple times in their game against LA on the
Yeah.
first night, and to
I
great
like-
success.
It's very
So
creative. I like
that
it.
Rogue
Fooled me
Hedy
from
combo
this
is
angle.
really, really nice.
Yep, so now they're talking strategy. 15 seconds left in the jam. Hedy Lascar gets dumped at the back of the pack. That Arizona defense looks like they're going to hold strong for this power jam. And it is going to do it. That clock will expire. So good special teams defense by Arizona. We're going to have a timeout before we move forward. It's an official timeout. All right.
Thank you.
We got an OTO, 109 left.
I'll tell you what, it is not often in Derby that you see a total penalty kill on Rogie. So that just really speaks to the quality of the Arizona defense being able to shut down that penalty jam. I've got a couple of shout outs here from Kelly Cole. I've got Go Hotshots, number 55, Skid Vicious, you're fabulous, and sending love from Ohio. And then TJ Lanier, Jaeger isn't so great. Are you kidding me? When was the last time you saw a player with such skills, spins, beauty, and swag? Hollywood and Skid Vicious break records. Jaeger breaks the rules. You can keep your statistics. I prefer the magic. Okay, that felt
right.
very confrontational. I never said
feel
that
like
Jaeger wasn't
I feel
great.
I feel like Suki Talk and Smackhouse might have put that one in there under like a pseudonym.
Did you say that Jaeger wasn't great? I didn't
I
say
didn't
Jaeger
say anything
wasn't
about
great.
Jaeger not being great.
You're
I think
fighting
Jaeger's
a ghost,
fantastic.
friendo. None
you
of
kidding
us
me?
said that.
Jaeger's mom is Suki. Suki would punch me a lot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Maybe somebody, let me check chat. Maybe somebody in chat is talking smack about
Yeah,
about
we'll have to
Jaeger.
see. I was going to say.
Because it wasn't me, so settle down out there. Oh, it's Jaeger's boyfriend. Well, listen, Jaeger's boyfriend, we like Jaeger probably just as, well, not just as much as you do, but close. So settle down.
If you are interested in getting a shout out that'll be read live on the air, we will read those out. You can go to the Derby Dames website, ArizonaDerbyDames.com. Click on that hamburger menu in the top left, tap tickets. It's right there. It's $3 or up to $9 if you're feeling zesty, and we will read it on the air. All the details are right there at that place I told you. Also, the link will be in the Twitch chat, so keep an eye on that as well. We would love to read little blurbs for you. This official timeout is still continuing. The referees are having quite a conversation down there, so
I went and tried to see if there was anybody talking smack on Jaeger, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that my Twitch shows me the chat prior to me opening it up. But somebody did say love to hear old Greg on the mic, and I don't know who that is.
Oh, that was my old Derby name.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, good,
But
because
it
I
was-
thought I was
yeah.
being insulted in a way that I don't understand again, and
No.
I don't really. I like my insults to be plain.
Yeah, I had that name, and then that sketch is a tiny bit problematic, so I kind of moved away from it. And then so my name is Clofton P. Grudge, which was Freya. One night was we were watching Forensic Files, and we were both a little tipsy, and there's this whole thing, and it ended with Freya dancing like a background character in GTA 5 and calling me Clofton P. Grudge with 2 R's.
All right, we're ready to get back. That official timeout is over. Oof. Looks like Iggy Cox picked up. Is that a triple penalty? It looks like it was one high block and 2 arms penalties. So that is a tough call.
Oof. All right, so that's Hurricane May for Arizona. Malaboomer for Slam Diego. May has snatched off that star as well, and is going to get Slamurai just with the elbow of justice. Just shoves Hurricane May again. Watch out, May. That thing is loaded. Down here along the inside, you got a San Diego lead jammer. That's Malaboomer.
Oh ho ho! That is San Diego's second lead of the game.
Indeed, indeed. Arizona has passed the star forward. Lightning the Queen takes over as jammer, also for the first time. Malaboomer, wow, Malaboomer with a little head fake. My goodness, it is hard to head fake Mimi Mahler. It is hard to head fake Mimi Mahler. And my goodness, Malaboomer just put the okie doke on her. Wowzers. I love being able to see things like that, like from this up close and get a good angle on one like that. That was a full-on fake out. Wow.
All right, who do we got here? That is Dolly Spartan jamming for Arizona. And well, if it isn't the Rogue Rammer back on the jam line.
That's right. Float like a hummingbird, sting like a hummingbird.
Yes, exactly. As the saying famously goes.
Yeah. We got another timeout. It's another official timeout. All right. We got to talk over some more of these goings on. So,
Well, I'll tell you
referee
what,
crew's gonna get back together.
We got a whole bunch of San Diego folks in the chat. That's always good to see.
Yeah.
I see Killer Groove in the chat calling out that boomer head fake, and I see Murda in the chat. my cousin Murda, and I don't know if Astro is Astro Stash, but I feel like Astro could be a whole bunch of people. But
Yeah. We have an Astro in our league, Astro Thought. So, could be them.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, if you're in the chat, first of all, tell us what your skater name is, because
Yeah.
we don't know what
First
you know
of all,
what I mean.
introduce yourself.
Yes, but tell us what league. Jump in the chat. Tell us where you're
Yeah.
at. Tell us about your league. When's your next bout? You can't put links in the Twitch chat, but you can tell us how to find it.
All right, yeah, Dolly Spartan found that lower wide open and then skated to the front, made it past Valkyr. Rogi still having a tough time getting around, getting a little bit of O from Kier, which is really nice. But and Dolly Spartan now back around, slamming through, but Rogi is out of the pack now as well, and we got a little bit of a jammer race on our hands, and Dolly's gonna go ahead and call it.
Yeah, Dolly had about as long as it took Rogi to get that star on, and then Rogi put the hammer down, and Dolly said, yeah, I'm not going to try to catch you now. So that takes us up to our first quarter break. Arizona hangs 4 on the board as we head into the break. Score right now, Arizona 62, Slam Diego 18. We are through 1 quarter of play. We'll step aside for a 5-minute breather. We will be right back to the game action.
All right, we got just about 30 seconds. I am hanging out in the chat with y'all. Indeed, it is 55 Astro. Indeed, it is Astro Stash.
Nice.
Here for San Diego. And then we've got Kiko Jones is here for Mimi. Shell, who was here with us but got hurt in the first game, unfortunately, is still supporting from home. We love you, Shell. And as I said earlier, we've got Killer and Murda. Anybody who's bitractual and is a flat skater knows that's bona fide, actual Derby famous Murda.
Yes.
From Angel City. Not to brag or anything. And then Band-Aid Brigade is here for, looks like a whole bunch of people, but I think maybe Reffy also.
That's
here
Band-Aid
for
Brigade
Reffy.
is Reffy.
Oh, that is Reffy. Okay, never mind then. Reffy is sitting for, just for the record, 20 feet away from me.
No, of course. That's what I do at tournaments. When I have bouts
Yeah.
off in the middle of days,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
sit there and jump in the Twitch chat. Also, I had to mention, it's funny that I mentioned, quote unquote, our Astro. Astro thought literally just walked in.
Oh.
Right over there in the
Hey.
Runaway Brides jersey.
So many Astros. Reffy says, I'm everywhere. So true. But honestly, I appreciate it because making some comments on stats that I'm not keeping, such as Arm seems to be the heaviest penalty being dropped, and I would have to say, agreed.
Yeah, I would say that's probably because of like all of the blocking and jostling that's going on. You've got a lot of people scrapping for position
So
in
much
there.
blocking
Yeah.
and jostling.
Just about ready to kick it off. The referees are back together and discussing something.
Who knows? Who knows what
Right.
goes on in the minds of refs? Not I.
Maybe they're discussing the after party, which is at Thunderbird Lounge.
Hey!
That's right. You can nav it. It's also on 7th Avenue, just north of Indian School. Thunderbird Lounge. It is basically across the street from Title IX and the Filiberto's that's right there by the Title IX. If you know where the Title IX and Stacy's are, you're in the right neck of the woods. That's our after party. They've got a cooled patio, which, I mean, the weather outside is gorgeous, so might be a good day to pop out on the patio at the after party. We
Ooh.
got penalties a go-go.
Yes, looks like we've got blue. We got a Rogie in the box. Rogie's in the box on an arms penalty, along with Helenor, who's on for a high block. We've also got one blocker from Arizona in the box on an arms penalty. So it is a power jam for Arizona.
It is. It's Scaren Jaeger out there to do the power jam once
Speaking
again
of,
for
yeah,
Arizona.
Jaeger, of whom we speak so fondly, for the
Right.
record, chat.
And up to the high side, is able to find a seam along there and kind of got through on Slamurai, got a shoulder in front to get the angle. San Diego now with their three blockers. They do get moving, so they break Goad. Arizona wasn't really trying to hold the Goad that hard. Jaeger down to the inside. Slamurai comes off the track. Jaeger gets the wave around.
No pack is called, or split pack. I can't quite hear.
And May comes back and says, "I got your okie doke." And May gets a head fake. Excuse me, Jaeger.
Yeah,
puts the
Jaeger's
head
Jaeger's
fake on.
was doing
Jaeger.
doing
My
the wave
apologies,
over
I was
there.
going to say Jaeger doing the wave. I started saying May, and then I saw Jaeger doing Jaeger stuff, and I was like, that looks like Jaeger.
Yeah.
Yeah. You wait till sometime. Jaeger will dab on the whole crowd coming down the back straightaway.
All right, that was 15 points for
it
Jaeger,
was.
bringing this Arizona score up to 77 to 18.
Yeah, that was an excellent move by Jaeger heading down into the corner and got Slamurai spun up. So a lot of fancy skate work going on here.
All right, that is Boomer jamming for Slam Diego.
Princess Sleia is jamming for Arizona and was not able to get clear at the first try, but then able to burst out and go. Malaboomer is mid-pack and finds an opening, takes
Oop.
off.
Popped that star off, did a little star stash, broke out of the pack.
That's right, able to sneak by a couple of Arizona blockers and get out.
Oh, and turns around with gumption in order to have a little jammer on jammer action. That I love when you can see the resolve in a player's eyes. I also especially love when players do stuff right in front of us because then
Also
we can
true.
see it.
Then you can see the eyes.
Yes. All right, that is Evil Twin lining up to jam against Rogue Rammer.
We got penalties raining down.
Uh-oh.
Let me check the whiteboard as it comes up. I'd like to thank Crystal Ball Buster for the...
I've got my little telescope.
This is going to be, while they're working on the penalty board, this is Evil Twin for Arizona. And Rogue Rammer for Slam Diego. And Evil Twin around the outside. Rogue Rammer is trying to find an opening. Up to the pack now. Evil Twin along the inside.
Woo!
And jumps over a sliding blocker, able to hop over. I believe that was Valkyr down there in the corner.
I'll tell you what, I was bending over writing down stats, and I heard that apex jump happen.
Yes.
Landed beautifully.
You heard a skate slamming the track, and
Yes.
it wasn't Tilted Thunder, so you knew it wasn't
Exactly,
Amelia
yeah, it
Bearheart.
wasn't Bear, yeah.
No, not Bear.
Oh,
Evil-
and it looks like Rogie is out. And yeah, they're going to call it right off.
Yeah, Evil Twin calls it off mid-pack once Rogue Rammer broke out.
Oh, someone named Hello TC says, "Hi Clifton, missed you yesterday."
Aw, thank you.
Same.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, my stomach was, it's not having it. So, stopped in, got some fluids, a little bit of Zofran. And then I jumped in the Twitch chat while pretty doped up on Zofran still, and I
Hell
basically
yeah.
I couldn't shut up. Are you kidding me? So, the old anti-nausea medicine loopiness.
Can we buy you a tiny telescope so you can see the whiteboard?
The problem is I have to take my glasses off to put the tiny telescope on.
All right, that is Boomer and Dolly Spartan out there on the jam line. This is, I think, maybe one of the first jams where we have not seen a lead pull out immediately. So both of these defenses kind of putting the work in, and Boomer is awfully up to, and there we go, pulls it out, picks up lead for San Diego, and is jubilant.
Boomer knocked off, and Dolly Spartan got hit at
And
the
the-
back of the pack. Here comes Boomer for a
Ooh.
scoring pass. Yeah, we
The
saw
crowd
Dolly.
goes wild. I think somebody's toe stop might have fallen off over there.
I would believe so. We saw Dolly up in there and got knocked off. The
Oh,
entire
man.
Arizona team said go, and Dolly was very sure that she got blocked off by another skater.
This
So-
is, I told you earlier in the game that if you keep an eye on that Slammy Cox pack,
Yes.
because it is always going to be Slammy Cox Jax.
Yes.
And then I think it was Snips this time around that is pulling off those big moves.
Yeah,
Was-
absolutely
Was that or was
fierce.
that not a toe stop, though? It was something.
Somebody left something out there. Nobody
Yeah,
blew a
they're
tire.
throwing it in the trash. So it was not a, it
But
was
yeah,
not a toe
that
stop.
was really you. Dolly Spartan has jammed enough that was really interesting that everybody on the team said go, and Dolly was like, I am nearly certain I got blocked off by somebody that you all didn't see.
Ooh, looks
and
like-
reestablished all the way behind the pack.
Looks like we have a power jam, I believe, but potentially. Yeah, that tracks. All right, yeah, because we were about to have a power jam with almost no Arizona blockers on the track, so it does make sense that Arizona is issuing a challenge here. For
Yes.
those of us at home who are, once again, spending their free time watching Derby, but perhaps don't know the rules yet, which we love that, challenge is exactly what it sounds like. It is an opportunity for the teams to say, we disagree with something that the refs just did. And in this case, because that challenge came from Arizona, I'm going to guess that it's going to be a disagreement with one of the many penalties that were just picked up on the Arizona side. So we will find out. The refs will come over and kind of clue us in to what goes on during these challenges when you issue an official review. What happens is both teams send their little rules lawyers down to the center to go have a little tete-a-tete with the refs, and then the refs convene and they have a little chat about it. And then they'll come over here and let us know what their verdict is. But in the meantime, we just got to vamp.
Yeah, pretty much. At our home league bouts, we have the two jam refs wear GoPros on their helmets. So we actually have VAR, and I love.
That's just for after the game.
Is that for after? Oh, okay. They have GoPros on their helmets. It's for VAR after the game, bout review. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we've got
All
we got a shout out.
Well,
We got a shout out from, oh, look at that. Killer's in the chat and in the shout outs. Killer says, Slam Diego, you better bring the heat. Cheering that entire bench on from San Diego. You too, AJ. Aw. Donkey sound, donkey sound, which I guess I have to make hee-haw. She finished that with hee-haw, which comes from, she tried to make the power jam wham, 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 wham sound, and instead went hee-haw. Ooh, so Arizona was indeed challenging one of the several penalties that they just picked up, but the challenge is lost. The refs reconvened and decided, no, actually, we're confident in our calls. on this time around, and so they are going to lose their official review. Both teams get one official review per half. If they win their official review, they get to retain it for one more. They could use it one more time in the half, but in this case, Arizona will lose their official review for the remainder of this half, which is just under 10 minutes left. So that's quite a bit of time. It also means that we are about to have a power jam for Slam Diego.
That is
and
right.
It's going to
And
be a power jam with a steep pack advantage.
The minimum pack advantage for San Diego.
So don't waste it, Rogi. Nah, she can't hear me.
So the two blockers for Arizona is going to be Thunder and Lightning, which is Lightning the Queen and Mimi Mahler. And they skated about, I believe it was at a tournament when they were on the minor assaults together, and Mimi actually changed her name to Thunder so they could skate as Thunder and Lightning. So this is actually, this is running it way back for your Arizona fans right now. So if you were going to have just two people out there and Novakeen's not suited up, I would say let's go with Lightning and Mimi. Nova's just coaching, obviously, down there. So this is basically, let's put it like this. This is your Slam and Cox defensive duo right here. It's
Yes.
These two getting ready to come out.
Yes, the Slam Cox Jacks.
Yeah.
And
So
we'll
this
see
will
who
be
the fourth is
interesting.
on this one.
Here
Looks like
goes the
it's
chess match.
Oh no, it's. Oh yes, yeah, no, it's actually it's gonna be it's Slam Hetty here.
All right.
So it's actually not as steep. It looks like there was one more blocker penalty on San Diego than I thought there was in the beginning. So it's not as steep of a pack advantage as I thought it was, but it's still pretty significant. Our pack is light as hell right now. So Rogi's taking off, going to be trying to get past this duo in the front. The pack is absolutely booking it, playing sort of a hybrid game of can't get through me and also keep away. No pack, split pack, no pack, something pack is called. Oof. It's a little chaotic here. Oh, and Rogi just got one more to beat, and beats it still with more than 30 seconds left. Plenty of time.
San Diego now is trying to get in between those two blockers as best they can.
No pack is called again. It's easy to end up with no pack when you have only 5 people in that pack. That pack is absolutely running it right now.
San Diego tries to run the accordion, just a little shy of being able to pull it off. Rogi is just trying to make sure that she gets all those points right now.
There we go. That was, I think, 2 sets of 5. It might have been only 1 set of 5. I'm not sure. Yes, it was 1 set of 5.
Yes.
The first one was just the breakthrough
Right,
pass.
right. Anyway, all of a scoring pass. So 5 points on the board for Slam Diego's. We're about halfway through the second quarter. This is going to be Skid Vicious for Arizona. Malaboomer once again for Slam Diego.
And off we go. We got 1 in the box for Arizona. Oh, and Boomer is out before turn 1. I think that is actually San Diego's first pre-turn 1 lead.
Could be, yeah. Excellent work to get out right away. And then here came Skid Vicious and ran into the Arizona blockers. I don't think they knew she was coming. So that slowed her up a little bit.
That's a hard hit. Oh.
And Malaboomer tries to get up and call it off. It's not honored by the ref. And they're saying Malaboomer's okay. Malaboomer still lead. We'll have to check and see. Hollywood got hit in the face and has gone to the bench for assistance. Malaboomer is continuing on around. Medics are taking a look at Hollywood. Yeah, Hollywood took it right to the eyes, it looks like. Here comes Malaboomer up to the pack.
Ooh. Solid jammer on jammer action here. My goodness. Yes. Quick reminder for everyone who's in-house that the silent auction will be closing at the half of this game. So you have 7 more minutes to go ahead and bid on all that cool stuff that they've got over there.
Yeah, pop on down there. If you are not familiar with the prizes yet, let's see what's down there. It is the silent auction. Lost Dutchman tattoo, value of $400. Rhea Riot tattoo, value of $300. Poppin' Joe skate bag, $250 value. Oh My Quad skate shop gift bag. And a desert skate canvas print by Andrew Jones.
Oh yes,
$200
it's like it's a
value.
cool art
Yeah,
piece.
yeah.
Oh, looks like Boomer picked up a cut track penalty on that last one, which means it is now an Arizona Power Jam for Strange.
I was going to mention that's probably occurred down there in the front straightaway when everything got chaotic. So they were clarifying the score. It was 7 for San Diego and 2 for Arizona in total on that jam. That is Strange for Arizona, and Strange is out and clear.
Breaking out nice and early.
Pack is not moving too much here in the corner. Slam Diego voluntarily sets up a second goad to play back wall defense, and it's highly successful. Hedy Lascar gets dumped by an elbow, and Strange is able to fight through, but good job by Slam Diego eating time off the Power Jam clock.
Oof. Yeah, Arizona's got a goat caught with, I think, yeah, with Grandpa in the back there. Oh my goodness.
Strange finishes off a second, is going to come around for a third. You've got Valkyr pinned in the back. Those San Diego defenders are trying to spread out and take up as much of the track as they can. Strange tries to stay up on the track, comes off, and is just going to let the clock expire at that point. So we'll check on the points from that last scoring pass and see what we may have gotten. Strange gets all 15. 15-point Power Jam for Arizona is going to nudge them up over 100 for the bout. 108.35.
We got a quick shout out from chat. Well, not from chat, from the actual shout outs. Damon says, "Happy birthday, Mimi." Sounds like Mimi's also got a birthday weekend this weekend. So happy birthday to Mimi.
We got a timeout. Getting ready. I see Nikki has repaired the pant wear since Friday.
Chat wants to know if Hood is okay. We believe so, yes.
Yeah,
the medics were out there for a very short period of time.
At present, Hood has gauze
Yes.
pressed to the face.
Yes.
So but yeah, medics are done.
Yeah, Hood looks okay.
Yeah. Say a doink to the eye or perhaps the cheek, not sure, but looks to be all right, like we said. Has not left the track for any reason.
We've got a couple of folks in the chat from San Diego that want to see Heat Jam. So putting that request in from Murda and Killa, and at least one other person whose name I don't recognize. So that's the request from chat. I don't know how much influence chat has over strategy. I can tell you that I, as an announcer, have, if not, I would say not only zero, I would say negative influence. I would say if I
Right.
suggest something, they usually know that the opposite is probably a good idea to do.
Yeah, I haven't worn a roller skate since 1993, so I probably am not qualified to opine on exactly what's going on out there. After that timeout, this is going to be another Slam Diego Power Jam.
Well.
Rogue Rammer out there once again.
If it isn't the Rogue Rammer taking on this Power Jam. Ooh, and the crowd is excited about it. That's fair, so am I. Rogie headed straight into the thick of it, popping around the outside, but Arizona's solid at reforming in front of her. Trying to get a little help from, it looks like that is, we got Cox and Slammy out there, which if you're gonna be down to just two blockers, those are the two blockers you wanna have. But it doesn't change the fact that it is still pretty damn tough. I can hear the Rogie went for sort of a fake out pass. You can hear Nova on the bench going, "It's still Rogue, it's still Rogue." And indeed it is still Rogue as she breaks out. Just about 15 seconds left. Like I said, I've seen her do more with less, so.
Making it around quick. Pack has ground to a halt.
Beautiful.
Coping jumped to get by one blocker, but could not duplicate the feat on the second, so got up to reestablish. We'll check the score from the infield.
The crowd is pumped. Ooh, I think, is Ralphie back in the crowd? Did Ralphie foul out? Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, that was probably due in part to that one where there were lots of penalties.
There was,
on the
yeah,
one,
there was, I saw at one point, I think there was like a 3-and-1 penalty for
Yep.
Ralphie. So.
That'll happen when you're playing in the trenches down there doing the grunt work, you know.
All right, we got a
But yeah,
directional
much love
on.
to Wreck-It Ralph. I would dare say one of the best defenders in the country.
Yes.
I would dare say.
All right, that is Boomer jamming for Slam Diego. Almost out right away, but not quite. Giving an opportunity for Arizona to get out and pick up lead. Who is that? Is that Evil?
That's Scary Yeager.
That's Scary Yeager.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Gets around Malaboomer. Hurricane May was just out of play, but Malaboomer does get out to keep that to one scoring attempt for Yeager. Arizona gets 4. Rogrammer again for Slam Diego. Nikki Badaz is going to go up there again to jam. I'd started to mention that Friday night in Nikki's first jam of the tournament, Nikki's first time as jammer, Nikki tore the leg of her pants. And yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I was going to say that's you can't tear the leg of your pants when you change to shorts. So Nikki now is up to the front wall of San Diego defenders. Rogrammer at the back, seeking. Iggy Cox and I believe Slamurai, and Nikki's able to finally break clear and get out. 40 seconds left in this jam. Rogrammer is pushing up against that back wall of Arizona defenders and now finds an opening to get out. Once again is going to keep this to one scoring pass for Nikki. Nikki finishes that scoring pass, looks around, watching Rogrammer, and calls it off. So another 4 for Arizona. They are going to send up Malaboomer once again. Pretty much would not be surprised to not see any other jammers going forward. It's been a while since we've seen anybody that's not Boomer or Rogrammer jam.
I can't comment on that because I have inside knowledge.
So this time, Malaboomer's up against Evil Twin for Arizona. Pack shifting. We've got 2 San Diego blockers in the penalty box. One
again
for
for those
Arizona.
arms. Those arms are really proving to be an issue for, I think, both teams. Boomer really getting locked in the back here, trying for that inside spin around and not quite getting there. Meanwhile, Arizona finds it and picks up lead right around turn 2. Pack, meanwhile, is pretty stationary on that turn.
Boomer's trying to shake around Scary Yeager at the back of the pack.
Oh!
A little dipsy-do move to get around Muerta and gets out. Puts the star on and then blocks
we got
Evil
some
Twin.
jammer
Turned around at the last
jammer.
second. Her Evil
Nicely
Twin
done.
coming in a big old jammer block.
Beautiful.
Malaboomer says, "You may not have my point. You may not." And OPR reporting in something back there. Let's
Killer
see.
says, hell yeah, Boom.
Excellent block, excellent jammer offense and defense. There was an arms penalty on Scary Yeager that I saw from the OPR. So Arizona's down 1 blocker. It looks like San Diego is fully staffed, I believe.
Ooh.
Princess Leia for Arizona. Rogrammer right there to knock Leia off and then taking off.
Oh, and Rogi finds it in that first corner. And she is booking it. She is ready to make the most of this, but Princess Leia hot on her heels.
25 seconds left on the half clock, so as it's shaping up, we'll probably have another jam. Rogrammer up into the pack, looking for as many points as she can get. Princess Leia gets blocked off hard, rolls up onto the track. Rogrammer weaves around the last blocker and is just going to keep on going. So it looks like we may get to the half here. Rogrammer's going to come around for more since Leia hasn't finished that, has not yet finished that scoring pass, is what I was trying to say.
Sometimes when Rogi jams, I get so excited I forget to announce.
Yeah, we are at the half, as I said, so this is our last action of the first half. Rogi is just trying to make sure, get those hips in front of everybody.
damn. And what a jam to end it on.
That is right. Let's check on the official
Wow.
score.
We'll see how many points ultimately that was. Arizona picked up 4, and Rogi picked up 9, bringing the score headed into this half,
we go.
124 to 47. We're going to
Excellent
take
output.
a quick 15-minute break, so go ahead and get up, stretch your legs, do what you got to do. And we'll see you back here in just a little bit. Go ahead and get yourself a drink, a snack, chat, and you better come back.
We have so many fans packed in here in the house.
We really do. It is nice to see this much enthusiasm for Derby. I'm not going to lie. How you guys feeling out there? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Jax Killer did make a note in the chat that she saw you pumping it up. Yep.
Also, I see a new San Diego Jammer for the first time.
Oh, it's a Jax Jam.
It is a Jax Jam. So there you go. We got a Jax Jam.
All right,
Now we just got to look out for a Heat Jam.
Now we're back. Now we're back on Twitch. You can say what you want to say to the people.
All right. I was going to say, hop in the chat. If you've been watching this weekend at all, hop in the chat. Let us know your favorite moments from what you've seen so far this whole weekend. Get in there, and we'll highlight some of those as best we can.
I mean, you could do that. You could also just shower us with compliments.
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm vain, and I
Yeah.
have panache.
All right, looks like we're starting out with one each in the box. And it is indeed a Jax Jam up against Hurricane May.
May got blocked off hard down there by
Yeah.
Valkyr.
Oh, but ultimately does manage to break through. But Jax also almost, oh man, Arizona's just so good at that reform. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen a San Diego Jammer almost out only for Arizona to just
Yeah, it's-
materialize around them
right,
again.
just spinning back up into the front like you
Yeah.
said. Valkyr is trying to push through. May tiptoes around the wall on
yeah,
the
that was some
inside.
nice toe stop work, yeah.
Right on the toe stops, right on the coping. Jax gets blocked off again hard by Lightning the Queen. He's going to get up to reestablish. And now Jax tries to get in the way and tries to block May. May down into the corner, blocked off. 9 seconds left on the jam clock. Jax is still trying to get out. May finishes that scoring pass. The clock's going to expire on that jam. So 10 points for Arizona to start the scoring here in the second half.
Well, if the San Diego Jammer starts like 40 feet behind the jam line, you know it's Boomer.
Right. San Diego Jammer is actually starting in San Diego.
Yes, exactly. Starts in San Diego, gets there real fast.
Right.
Listen, it's a compliment. You're fast, baby.
Arizona's on Pacific time right now, so
Yes.
it's actually a short trip.
I know exactly. Yeah, that is Boomer, and that's, I believe, is that Dolly Spartan?
That is Dolly Spartan down along the
Indeed it
inside for
is.
Arizona, fighting with that
Oof.
vigorous San Diego defense again.
Almost getting bummed out by Eggy at the last second, but managing to stay in. Oh, but looks like Boomer's now also out, so gonna potentially stem the bleeding here by forcing a pretty quick call off.
Yeah, Boomer able to get those last couple of blockers just push out of play. Also, Hollyhood's out there
Yep.
again, so for those checking on Hollyhood, Hollyhood is apparently fine and has full usage of both eyes.
All right, that is Rogie. Roguerammer Fan Club is in the chat. That's Rogue's mom, one of my favorite people, and one of my favorite chat participants is in the chat, and I think you can feel it. You can feel it in the air, and we'll
That's
see
gonna
if it impacts Rogie's performance right now.
That's Scary Nieger for Arizona is able to tiptoe around Hedy Lascar on the inside.
Yeah, Jaeger is through and is whizzing around, just booking it. But there we go. Rogie is out.
Rogie
And
gets out.
Jaeger says, let's be efficient about this, you know? Let me get my points, let me call it right off.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard a penalty on Scary Nieger. I thought it might have been an arms penalty, but we'll check the board. And so that means Malaboomer is out there for a power jam for Slam Diego. Looks
think-
vigorous, full of life.
I think she's
bright-eyed and
bluffing.
bushy-tailed.
I
Just
think
ready
she's
to go out
bluffing.
there
Oh,
and-
it looks like it's a power jam.
It is. Like,
It's
yeah.
a Boomer power jam.
It is. It's a boom power jam.
Yes.
Up to the pack, San Diego's got 3 defenders out there doing the work.
Yeah, San Diego's trying to catch a goat in the back. With some, they let the goat go. Oh, Boomer takes a little bit of a tumble, but takes somebody down with her.
Boomer tried to get down on the inside and tried to sneak past Murder Mittens. Just ran out of coping down there along the inside. Now goes right up to that 4 wall of Arizona defenders as San Diego tries to run the accordion but not able to pull it off. There's 25 seconds left in this power jam.
Oh, and there we go. Boomer almost all the way out. Man, There are not a lot of teams that can shut Boomer down like this, and I gotta say that it really does speak so highly of Arizona's defense.
Boomer does get out, but it'll all be academic at that point. Not enough time to make it around for a scoring pass. So, as you mentioned, excellent defense by Arizona on the special teams and putting up a 0-point power jam. And Boomer, while struggling to get out, also picked up a jammer penalty. So it's now a power jam for Arizona and Lightning the Queen.
A power jam switcheroo.
That is right.
A do-si-do, if you will.
Referees are discussing.
This might be Lightning's first time on the jam line this game.
That is correct.
Lightning, I believe, was also, I don't know if Lightning did announce or was just prepared to announce when I showed up very late this morning. But we appreciate you.
Indeed. Everybody good? All right. Officials are good. We are ready to go with this power jam.
Yes, looks like Boomer picked up a blocking out of bounds, I think.
So Lightning out for Arizona. The San Diego defenders now are going to get together and defend this power jam. You got Valkyr out there with Hedy Lascar.
Ooh, very nice.
Last blocker down there, I believe, is Grandpa for San Diego.
I gotta say, I mean, I make no secret of the fact that I'm from San Diego. I'm here for Slam Diego. But I do love watching Lightning skate.
Lightning often serving as the Hot Shots captain. I'm not sure who is captain for this bout. It was
I
not
don't know.
listed. But out there now, around those last blockers, as those last two San Diego blockers were out of play.
Wow. Yeah, Arizona doing a solid job of grabbing a goat in the back and forcing the pack to slow down. I think that might have been, was that a full, let me not speak ahead of myself.
It was a full.
It was indeed a full 20, which I think might be.
Is that our highest scoring jam of the game?
Yeah. Yes. It
Yes,
is.
and that was our highest scoring jam of the game.
Yeah, we had a 17
Honestly,
earlier.
what
That's
a
going to
power
be the
move.
biggest one.
What a power move to get on the jam line for the first time in a game and just pick up 20 points.
So this will be Rogue Rammer once again. The ferocious hummingbird. Hummingbird.
Oh yes.
It's a humblebee.
The ferocious and territorial hummingbird.
Very modest.
Personally, I stand by her favorite bird is a Canada goose.
That's Princess Leia for Arizona, meanwhile, and Leia is able to get down along the inside.
Absolutely just busting out of the gates like a horse. And
Rogie.
already back around and just finding that wide open. You could see Rogie at the last second tried to do a little jammer defense, but got stuck. We'll see if that works the second time. It looks like Rogie's positioning herself to prevent it from happening a second time, but not successfully because Princess Leia goes for that jump and lands it. Wow.
Rogie down along the inside, trying to get past that last blocker, who is now out of play, so Rogie gets clear.
There we go. Rogue is out. Just 15 seconds left in this jam.
Rogie puts the star back on, checking around back behind, and then Leia calls it off.
14 points for Arizona on that last one. My goodness.
All right.
Bringing the score to 175-247. And we've got another Boomer jam up against Jaeger.
Oh, we're going to have a timeout.
All right, well, now's a good time for me to go ahead and read. We have another shout out here.
Great.
Carrie Frederick says, thank you to the amazing AV team and all their hard work, especially Sandy, that's Sandra Slay O'Connor, who does all of the hard jobs as co-head. Tournaments without you all and the announcers would be impossible, and I am very grateful. Oh, and go Hot Shots. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. I can enthusiastically co-sign that thank you to Sandy, because Sandy has been killing it this tournament.
Yeah.
Arranging all of our stuff.
Yeah, and I want to, from a personal note, thank everybody that covered the 5 bouts I was supposed to announce yesterday while I was alternatingly hospitalized and then sleeping off the hospital.
Yeah.
So I certainly appreciate everybody stepping up and helping with that. Say,
We're
for
happy
steering
to
the boat
do
all
it.
day.
Happy to do it.
So greatly appreciate
And happy
it.
you're back. Yeah,
I am
happy you're
feeling
doing
fine.
good.
I am sitting in a chair and not moving. My legs.
That's the announcer's way.
Yeah, no. Yeah, people sometimes are like, do you stand when you announce? I'm like, no. No.
I try to sit when I announce sometimes, but it's kind of like, you know, in elementary school, you would try to start cutting out something and then you would find yourself standing no matter what you did.
Yeah.
It's like that. I will start out sitting out and I will find myself standing yet again, no matter what I do.
All right, so we're back out on the track. That's going to be Skarin Yeager and Maliboomer still. Officials have discussed it. Everything's all set.
And off we go. And Arizona finds that lane nice and early, breaking out yet again before turn 1.
Yeager goes to the high side, weaves around Maliboomer, who was trying to provide an obstacle, and then fights through those front 2 blockers. And Boomer now runs right up into those front 2 blockers for Arizona, trying to get clear. Gets knocked backwards by Lightning the Queen. Yeager runs into some resistance that time from the San Diego wall, and then sort of Yeager giving himself a self-whip, sort of grabbing Lightning by the hip and pulling on past.
I'm dying to know what a self-whip looks like. I can't wait to ask you about that after this jam. I was checking the chat.
Yeah, she kind of grabbed the hip of Lightning's pants and used it to leverage herself down the track.
Ah.
Yeah. So, again, self-whip. All right, that ends up being another 10 for Arizona. We'll be at about 6 minutes to go until the end of the third quarter when this jam starts. This is going to be Rogrammer for San Diego. Nikki Badass for Arizona once again. But now Nikki comes down, and it's going to be another power jam.
That would have been, you said that was Nikki Badass?
That was Nikki Badass.
That would have
very
been
briefly.
Nikki's first time on the jam line thus far. But in fact, it is a Rogrammer power jam.
That is right. So it is indeed a Rogrammer power jam. Maliboomer is flat on the ground on the bench trying to get some air. That is a skater that has gone up every other jam so far this bout.
Rogue almost found that inside, but got waylaid at the last second. But still, she is up at the front. Nope, no longer. I take it back. In the grand tradition of the announcer's Murphy Law, if you say something is true, the opposite will become true as soon as you say it.
Of course. Rogrammer now trying to get past Skid Vicious at the front of the pack along with Hollyhood.
Ooh, getting all 4 blockers up to play O in the front. They're trying to catch a goat in the back. That is Murdermans they're trying to catch. Murdermans is simply not having it. Oh, I take it back. No, they've successfully caught Murdermans back. And that allows Rogie to break out. Just about 10 seconds left, but like I said, I've seen her do more with less. So we'll see. And there's that beautiful apex jump.
Front blockers are still out of play, so Rogie gets to go on through.
Landing it with grace and aplomb. The Rogrammer way.
So 5-point power jam on the board for Slam Diego. This is going to be Valkyr once again for Slam Diego. One of our home teams is the Doomsday Valkyries.
Ah.
As you see right here, our nearest team slogan back there.
Oh, so true. All right, and off they go. Kier headed for the upper. Oof.
Strange is the
scrappy
jammer
out
for
there.
Arizona, and there finds an opening as the pack moves into the back straightaway.
Strange is so good. It's not particularly insightful commentary, but it is true.
Hey, you know what? And what's interesting is Strange. The first time they tried out for the league, they did not make it.
Really?
And they joined as an official, and they basically honed their skating skills being an official. And then the second time they tried out, they made it.
In fairness, I feel like that's got to be true of most skaters. Most skaters start out and don't make the team right away.
Yeah, but it's
You gotta
interesting, like you
train
said,
up.
you see somebody who's, Strange has been doing this for 6-7 years
Yeah.
now, but it's to see somebody who came from that, like, that didn't even
Yeah.
make the first team they tried out for, make the league, I mean.
Yeah.
So it's always worth mentioning to people that you can do derby if you want. If you can roller skate, you can do it. Everybody can try it.
All right, now we've got Nikki Badass's first time on the jam line. And, we have an immediate start pass to Hedy Lascar.
We did.
But Nikki Badass is hot on Hedy's heels, and Hedy's going to call it right off. Nicely done.
Hedy gets out.
Beautiful.
Gets that star on just in time to call it off. You have to have the star on to call it. Maliboomer's going to crawl up to the rail and jam for Slam Diego. And that's Scary Yeager for Arizona down along the jammer line. It would be about 2:45 to go in the third quarter. And there we are, Boomer sneaking forward. Yeager to the inside, finds some real estate and gets clear for Arizona.
Boomer just up against one last. Oh, is that a Lightning Mimi situation again?
It is. It is. That was Mimi penning Boomer to the rail. Yeager along the inside for Arizona. Boomer now up to the front line. Lightning there again to shove Boomer off to the inside.
Yeager coming back around. Just, knocking Boomer down in the process.
Yeager fighting through. Boomer doing everything she can to try to play at least a little bit of.
Almost through, but loses one skate on the bottom
just
coping.
had the skate come off the track, did Boomer. So Yeager now weaving through, and Lightning delivering another hard hit to Maliboomer down there along the front straightaway. Yeager catching up to the pack, but will not get there before the whistle blows.
Yes, Rogrammer getting back on the jam line.
All right. Number 10-11, Rugrammer.
Rogrammer getting off of the track. Nope, Rogrammer getting back on the track.
There we go.
Make up your mind, Rog. It looks like it might be a power
Yeah,
jam.
I was going to say, we are having
Oh.
another power jam.
Unfortunately, it is another one of those situations where, they're only down one. San Diego is down one blocker, but I at first I thought it was two. It's only one blocker they're down. Arizona has a full cadre, a full quartet of blockers.
Stoppage and play before we get to that power jam. Let's find out.
Official timeout.
Officially speaking.
Now's a good time to mention that if you were interested in getting involved in Derby, if you're watching this, you're going, wow, this seems so cool, but I don't know how to get involved. I don't really know what's going on, but I just want to be a part of it. Well, lucky for you, you have an opportunity. The regulators, which is the Arizona ref team, they're always looking for folks who are interested in Derby, but not interested in hitting people. And there are all kinds of positions that you can sign up for. You do not need to know the whole rule set in order to participate. There are lots of non-skating official positions. You could also become an announcer. I'm going to be so real with you. They need them so badly.
Yes, every league needs announcers who aren't also skaters. It is a
Except San
thing.
Diego, because they're covered.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Because no one else is allowed in my announcer box except for me and my
Just you. You
co-announcer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you just Vin Scully it up. You just sit up there and just muse on life while
Yes.
roller derby's happening.
Yeah.
They said he's day to day, but truly, aren't we all?
Yeah, no, San Diego, we are very lucky in that we have at least one other announcer that's a non-skater. So, but the vast majority of places I go, they are always so
Yeah,
desperate for
always looking
announcers.
for
So,
people that can give
if you're
the-
interested, you can find any Arizona Derby team and let them know that you want to become a regulator and/or announcer.
Check with your home league, too. The home
Yes.
league always needs, trust me, the home league could always use an extra announcer and a couple
Yeah.
extra officials or two. So we are back to it. San Diego Power Jam, Rugrammer.
Rogrammer.
Wronger.
A Rogrammer Power Jam.
This will leave us time for one more jam in the third quarter, regardless of the outcome. Just trying those San Diego defenders are in there just throwing arms at everybody they can. Well, not arms, per se. I hope they're not throwing arms. Trying to clear a path. Rogue has the star off. So Chicanery could be at foot and then gets blocked off hard onto the inside. Rugrummer's going to get up and move along behind the pack. 14 seconds left in the jam. But is approaching the pack very slowly. Did not get out, so cannot call off the jam.
No pack is called. Everybody's
it'll do
slowing
it.
down
There, the
because
clock
it's the
expires,
end of the
yeah.
jam.
Rogue holding the nose and heading to the bench to see the medics right now. Right to the medical truce. So we'll bring you an update on Rogue momentarily. Have an official timeout as we check on Rogue and make sure all is well. I would say it appeared to look like possibly a blow to the nose. I'm not sure. Yeah. So, but went down hard in the front straightaway here. So everybody checking on Rogue on the bench. So we'll take a stoppage in play. Third quarter clock has expired. Do we have another jam in the third quarter? I am not certain. Let's find out from Freya Hugs. Okay, we were confirming the game executioner on the infield. Freya Hugs. One more jam. 6 seconds left on the game clock, so put 6 seconds back on the game clock and have one more third quarter jam. Medics are down there discussing with Rogue right now, but by all signs, they're sitting and talking, so that's always a good sign to see. So as the officials continue to discuss, Sage is looking for any updates we can gather from down there. We will get back to the pace of play here before we step aside for a fourth quarter break. Got an arms penalty on Holly Hood from deep down within the pack. All right. Ready to go. That is jamming for the first time. Iggy
Ooh.
Cox for Slam Diego.
Oh, that's cute.
There we are. Hurricane May for Arizona.
That's the thing is Arizona plays San Diego so often. Everybody's friends.
This is also true. And a lot of these skaters came up in minors together and been seeing each other for 10
Yep.
to 12 years.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
goes
looks
May
like
taking off. Iggy Cox pumping up the crowd and going on
Yeah.
to the chase.
that's the
May-
thing is Cox is an amazing skater. She's also a showman. And you got to appreciate that. And that takes us to our third quarter break.
There
We're going
we
to go
are.
ahead and take a 5-minute break. Go ahead and do what you need to do, and we'll be back here in 5.
Sounds good. Hey, Derby fans in the arena, last call for the merch booth. Last call for the merch booth. It will be closing as the fourth quarter gets underway. That includes the fizzy drink dispenser, so if you would like to fill up your cup, head on down there and do it one more time.
All right, we're just about ready to get back in it. Chat, multiple people are saying go, and then something that's being filtered out by Twitch. So I don't know whose name is too close to a bad word that the Twitch is filtering it out. A bunch of people keep saying go, something that's being filtered.
Interesting. Yeah, you're going to have to let us know. Twitch is, try to let us know. Oh! You cannot say Iggy's, what's his name in the chat.
Iggy Cox. Just do COX and then you're good to go.
Yes, like the cable company, COX. Thank you.
Well, you should be. Oh, wait, apparently COX also is being
All
filtered.
right. Okay. Hey, you know what?
Honestly,
Robust.
and that's on attention
Robust.
to detail from the Twitch team.
Back in the day, and I'm going to date myself here, back on Yahoo Chat in like 1995, they had a thing similar to that when you would type in, except it would blank out the word and put a non-offensive one.
Yeah.
Except it wasn't perfect. So if you typed, "I wish it would rain," it would change it to "I whip poop would rain."
Wait, since
Because
when?
it takes out the SH and the IT and replaces it. So yeah, so you'd be chatting and it'd be like, "Oh man, I whip poop would rain." It's like, what is, huh?
All right, well, that is Boomer up against
It
Dolly
is.
Spartan, and Boomer seems to have had some kind of an energy drink at the quarter because she just took off. But unfortunately, Dolly Spartan also seems to have had the same energy drink. I guess unfortunately or fortunately, depending on which side you're on.
Yeah, Boomer out with alacrity. Now Dolly up to the pack. Slamurai with a great block on the back end. Dolly all the way to the bench. Dolly slid all the way into San Diego's bench.
Boomer was
Wow.
almost out there, got waylaid by, I think that was Holly Hood putting the work in as a blocker there. Boomer did ultimately break out though, and Dolly Spartan's got an eye on that situation.
So, CJ, what does Slam Diego have coming up? What do you all have to look forward to with
So
y'all's
here's the
league?
thing. This is Slam Diego's last booked date because we just lost our facility.
I heard about that.
And we are in the process of looking for a new one. So we are fundraising because it takes, I don't know if you know this, it takes a lot of money to get enough property
Yeah.
to put a bank check on.
We know.
So if you are interested in helping out, making sure that San Diego shows up to this battle next year, please head out to our Facebook page. We've got links out on our Facebook page for you to help out. We would so very much appreciate it.
That's Mimi Mahler jamming for the first time for Arizona.
Wow.
Jammer for Slam Diego is
Welcome.
Maliboomer.
And that is
no,
Cox.
not Maliboomer. It is Iggy Cox. All right, there goes Mimi Mahler. Now is going to watch Cox and then calls it off.
You can take my seat. Nope. All right, Killer Group. We always have game plans.
Oh, we do have away game plans. All right. Yeah, I've got one of the coaches in the chat letting me know things that I didn't know.
Nice.
Yeah, what else?
Yeah. Yeah, basically, what's... Ralphie says, look forward to RollerCon. That's always a solid
Yes.
one. So, oh, yeah, there's RollerCon. Yeah, just
Killer, we love ya.
and also everybody else that's out there at the moment, jump in there, let us know. Again, I know we got Tilted Thunder
Yeah.
people in the chat. I've got some Tilted Thunder sitting next to me, but
Bangtrack,
hop in there, let us know what's
like
up.
I said,
Let us know what's coming up.
I am a bitractual announcer, and Bangtrack is so precious. It really is. It's a completely different culture, and it is so necessary, and it is so important to keep alive. So if you've got new stuff, if you've got fundraising stuff, whatever you got going on, go ahead and drop that in the chat. We will absolutely
Rising-
announce that. Oh ho ho! Refi says, I'm working RollerCon as the co-manager of medical.
Rafi, I see you.
Refi, once again, still just 20 feet away from me.
Yep. Hey, you learn from the best. That's what I do. I sit right down there by that fan, and I get in the Twitch chat and I mock the announcers.
Ralphie has a blood blister, everyone.
Yeah, we obviously, like I said, a rising tide lifts all boats, and don't forget, there are for every bank track league, there are dozens of flat track leagues, and you can also get out there and support flat track. You said you're bitractual. I announce flat track whenever I get the opportunity. It takes me 3 jams to remember that people can go backwards. It just there's that when you that switch from bank to flat. When you see somebody going backwards the first time, your brain goes.
I started out actually on both tracks at the same time.
Wow.
So not to brag, I don't get confused. I get confused,
I was a flat
but
track
for different
fan,
reasons.
and then I announced bank track after I had seen 2 bank track bouts. They were like, here. I was like, okay. That was 2017.
Uh-oh or yay, depending on which side you're on. But it does look like Iggy Cox picked up a penalty on that last jam.
Indeed.
And so that means this is a power jam for Arizona. And I believe that is Princess Leia taking this power jam for Arizona. And she is through just about at turn 1. Again, like I said, Arizona has been killing it at getting out of the pack before or at turn 1. Credit where credit is due, honestly. And Arizona's killing it. Yeah, go ahead.
Hedy Lascar with a great block along the inside. Wreck-It Ralphie standing up here next to us and started cheering and then said, I got to get out of here.
Yeah, she got bored. She left.
She had to leave because you can't cheer in the announcer's nest.
Yeah.
All right, Slayer around the outside gets almost past Slammerai.
Getting bumped at the last second by, I think that was
Nice.
it was either Snips or Slammy.
Up, and apparently Slammy
Like I said,
was...
I told you in the beginning, it's that Slammy wall that's always going to get you.
They move forward
I
and the clock
believe,
expired.
I'm not 100% on this because my memory's not the best, but I do believe someone told me at last battle that Slammy was at the original Battle of the Banked.
I would not doubt that for a second.
Yes.
Now, that's one the chat will have you
Yes,
on right there. Everybody's gonna
Slammerai
tell you.
is one of my favorite skaters of all time, and also apparently has been around since the dawn of time, which is crazy if you take a look at her because she's aging fantastically.
Everybody's looking. Everybody's checking. We have Slammerai. Yes.
Yeah,
one more
chat,
skater
feel
down.
free to confirm that. I know Killer would know. Chat's popping off. I really got to pay more attention. All right, you got to announce this while I catch up on chat.
Oh, you do that, yeah. Hit us in the chat with anybody else who's an OG from the first Battle on the Bank. If you're here in town, let us know. But yeah, shout out if you've been here since number 1. That's Muerta is out there on the jammer line for Arizona, getting ping-ponged around and tiptoes by Valkyr. Valkyr was right there, and Muerta gets the best of it. So at the back of the pack, jammer for San Diego is going to, he has the star off. I honestly did not see who the jammer was, but whoever it is, they're presently not wearing the star. So one of them may pop out of there momentarily. That's Muerta finishing off the scoring pass for Arizona. Rogue Grammar is the jammer for San Diego. I shouldn't be surprised.
Oop.
And looking for an opening. Now is going to stall it up and play defense, try to slow down this Arizona jammer. Once again, that's Muerta out there. Jamming for the first time, gets through the pack, and calls it off with just a couple of seconds left on the clock.
All right, so Killer did confirm that Slammerai was at the first Battle of the Banked. We also got, if you're interested, RollerCon Bank Track build does start Tuesday of RollerCon, and they can always use extra hands. They have to literally
that's
build
true,
the
yeah.
bank track.
That's right.
And so if you are interested in helping out, find Abby Arsnick, the retired AZGD skater manager captain, if you're interested in helping.
Right down here. Abby's right up here in the far turn.
Yes, or search volunteers at,
Yes.
and then that part's
always
bleeped out.
That's right. Track build is always a huge thing. That is going to be Skid Vicious out there for Arizona and is out and clear. Boomer along the inside.
Oh, Boomer
Outruns that
also out of
pivot.
the pack. That is a light pack out there.
It is
Everybody's
indeed.
behaving badly. Oh no. Looks
So
like
Skid
Rogie
got-
fouled out.
Skid got blocked off the track and tried to call it off before Boomer came in. Let's see what Boomer got on the pursuit.
I did not realize that Rogie had fouled out. That's a tough hit to take.
Yeah, I understand that being challenging.
Oof, Rogie and Cox and Kier have all fouled out.
That is correct, and now Boomer's going to run right back out there to the jammer line to jam again
Yikes.
because it's another Slam Diego power jam. Nick Winkle.
I know that the players always get pretty upset about fouling out of the game, but I always think personally, I think it's like very chic and cool. I think it's cool to foul out of games.
There you go.
Personally, I think you're a badass. Granted, I'm not a skater, so my opinion doesn't really count for very much, but I think it's cool to foul out of games.
Sure. Means you're in there doing the work, right?
Exactly. It means you're willing to put yourself out there. Oh, I take it back. Rogi had just taken her helmet off. No. Are you fouled out or not? Okay.
Boomer is now dancing around behind the pack, trying to get a blocker to go forward and help with that Arizona 4 wall. San Diego settles in to try to start the accordion. Boomer signals. The pack gets called up real fast that time. So Boomer tries to tiptoe along the inside and, almost got clear. Not quite. Pivoted around a skater and got blocked off. I think that was Mimi that closed the door at the last second. Trying the accordion again. Now they got a skater at the back with 16 seconds left on the Slam Diego Power Jam. Boomer is trying to get past everybody, if at all possible. Has to adjust the knee pad coming through and the clock expires. Sterling defense once again by the Arizona Hotshots.
Oh, I have fantastic news for chat that was asking for Heat to jam earlier. I hope Killer's still watching because Killer really wanted to see Heat jam, and in fact, that is exactly what's about to happen. Looks like we got one in the box. Grandpa's in the box on an arms penalty. Those arms are really getting everybody today.
Yep,
and that is Heat up against Nikki Badass on the jam line. Oof. Nikki Badass takes a bit of a tumble.
Yeah, big.
Heat is
big
in the
fall.
front, pushing. That's Slammy and Snips, I think, who have got Nikki in the back. Nikki's trying to get a little bit of from Murder Mittens.
And now
Yeah, and Nikki does ultimately break out, but
they're still trying to get Chicana Heat free in the pack. Now going to line up in 4-wall with the other 3 blockers and try to slow down Nikki. And they're successful. Great block with Slamurai knocking Nikki off the track, and then Princess Leia hits Slamurai. And Nikki will call it off. 2 for Arizona. And a team timeout. Nope, an official timeout. Sorry. That's an official timeout. 6:53 to go in
the
regulation.
old OTO. HOTTOTO.
HOTTOTO. This is an official timeout.
It would appear that there's a reason that Chapel Run is famous and not us, because our lyrics are maybe a little bit smoother than ours.
Yeah, you know.
But we try, and that's what counts.
I realized I knew too much Chapel Roan when we were at karaoke, Freya, me, and some of our friends. And somebody picked a Chapel Roan song, and I knew the lyrics better. I was actually helping them through the lyrics, facing away from the screen, and I was like, oh man, I listened to more Chapel Roan than a 44-year-old guy should.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it does look like this OTO is to discuss a potential unsporting conduct penalty. Once
Yeah.
again, shout out Refi for being in the chat, because I would not have known that otherwise. So we're waiting to see what the take is.
Yeah, they are still writing.
The refs seem prepared to go back to playing.
Yep. All right.
Hold on. Don't take that whiteboard away. Okay. Yeah, it does look like Slammy picked up an unsporting conduct, unsporting conduct, but not to enough of an extent to get ejected. So that's what counts.
All
Oh,
right,
look at
so
that!
was basically
Hetty's got
discussion.
the star.
I was gonna say.
Yes, this is Hetty is
is-
typically a pivot. This is Hetty's first time on the jam line.
Yeah. And
for
Hetty
this
has a power
bout.
jam. There was a penalty on Nikki Badass in the last jam. So Hetty's out there all by her lonesome. Now trying to deal with that recycling Arizona wall at the front of the pack. And blocked off to the inside. Still moving down the front straightaway. I see Grandpa is up there. They're now going to try to run the two-person accordion. Still fighting along the back straightaway. Hetty takes the star off and gets blumped down to the inside, and they're just going to run out of time there along the way. All right, so looks like Arizona up to the task once again with the Power Jam defense. This one is going to be Mala Boomer for San Diego and Aunt Tifa for the first time for Arizona. Tifa's the captain of our home team Coffin Draggers here in town.
All right, that is Boomer taking this for Slam Diego. And I can't quite.
Aunt Tifa.
It's Antifa. Oh,
is.
look at that.
First time.
Is that, yeah, first time on the jam line.
First time today. One of our usual mid-pack defenders out there to do the jam. Big cheer from the Arizona contingent seeing Tifa out there. Another longtime skater with our league.
Just under 5 minutes left in this game.
Boomer now trying to pick up the pace. Hollywood there to shut the door. And as Aunt Tifa finishes off a scoring pass, Boomer tries to sneak by along the inside and gets blocked hard by Hollywood. Knocked down to the concrete on the inside of the track. 7 seconds left. And Aunt Tifa runs up into those San Diego defenders, now tries to weave through and is able to just finish off that second scoring pass. Last scoring pass, excuse me.
It's a Slam Jam. This is, I think, Slammy's first time on the jam line for this game.
It
Maybe
is.
for this whole tournament, potentially. Okay, Arizona is calling a team timeout. We also want to give a shout out to, we have had to make use of them quite a few times during this tournament. We want to thank our medics for their presence and knowledge tonight.
Yes.
If you have the qualifications and would like to volunteer as a medic next season, please say Nacho Mama. I don't know if you guys understand how many people it takes to put on a bout. You may have noticed that there's a million refs. And the medics, because there are a lot of people that you can put a bout on without. We are one of them. You
Yes.
don't need announcers to put a bout on.
At best.
Yes,
And a
we
distraction
are.
at worst.
Yeah, ancillary is the word, but they do need all those refs, and they also do need the medics, and
Yeah.
those are the people without whom we could not put these bouts on. So give it up for the medics, honestly.
Thank you so much. And yeah, that's yet another thing you can check in with your home league about. You about guaranteed
Yes.
they'll need medics on staff.
This is also the perfect time to shout that out because Slamurai is one of our medics at home, and she crushes it.
And Slamurai, as we said, out there for the Slam Diego Power Jam.
Hell yeah.
Crowd's getting into it.
Getting a slammy chant going. And Slam, oh my goodness. Slam, this close to making
Slamurai
out.
gets by Lightning and
There
Mimi.
you go.
Slamurai just got by Lightning and Mimi. The Arizona fans are clapping harder than anybody else.
Yes.
Look at that.
You understand why I love a Slam Jam more than anything else
Lightning
in the
and
world.
Mimi out there as the two-person defenders for Arizona. Now one of the San Diego blockers gets up in there to cause some agitation.
Here we
Mimi
go. She's
turns
coming around. Making, honestly, pretty nice work of this first
Oh yeah, I
scoring
was gonna
pass.
say, Mimi with a block knocks Slamurai, kind of lost her balance going up towards the rail. So Slamurai now is really focusing on just making sure we got all those points. Push down again that time. Yeah, Slamurai got the first drop on him, but Mimi and Lightning have been up to the task thereafter. Tries to get by, gets blocked off again, but that ought to.
So,
that
yeah,
ought to-
yeah, absolutely. Give it up for Slam, honestly. Take a bow, Slammy. All right, now it looks like we got a Jax jam on our hands. We got a Jax on the jet flying.
And that'll be Dolly Spartan for Arizona. We're under 3 minutes to go here in the championship bout.
Uh-oh. Looks like we got official questions because there's the flags are going.
Checking in, verifying no
Maybe
points
not.
for Arizona. That was all.
All right. Well, that is Jax jamming for Slam Diego. And that is Dolly Spartan jamming for Arizona. Looks like we got one in the box for San Diego. So a tiny little pack advantage for Arizona. And Dolly makes quick use of it. Breaking out nice and early. Coming back around, ready to start scoring some points.
Jax is trying to drive those blockers forward for Arizona, trying to get them pushed forward and get some help from her own blockers. Dolly now coming around once again for Arizona. We're halfway through this jam clock. And Dolly leaps over a sliding block from Jax, trying to play some jammer defense. Dolly Spartan now up into the middle of the pack, and that's going to be working against the rail for Slam Diego was number 394 Helenova. So Dolly out once again, and the clock, just as I look over, the clock expires on that jam. As we get ready for the next jam, it's also worth mentioning, this will be Hedy Lascar and Skarin Jaeger. We wanted to mention, too, your league's minor program or a minor program of a league near you. It's almost always open to 10 to 17-year-old skaters.
Yes.
We have our minor assaults here in town. San Diego has...
I do like to always make note that if you are watching this and you're saying, I would love to see my kids smacked around like that,
Yeah.
then so many leagues have that opportunity for you. We have the minor assaults in Arizona. We have the bonfires in San Diego. We got an OTO right now. The perfect time to talk
Yeah.
about signing your kid up to get
Yeah.
to smack people around. Really.
Yeah, you got the LA Juniors,
Yes.
DDX.
The LA Juniors are some of the
Yes.
scariest children I have ever seen in my
Yes,
entire
yes.
life, and that is the highest compliment I can
Yeah.
give.
I mean, LA won Battle on the Bank for several years in a row, and they have finished third last year, and then again this year, and you can see the reinforcements on the horizon.
Yeah.
The kids are all right. I
Yeah.
mean, it's gonna be fun to watch.
No,
as what
we're
develops
all
in the next few
we're
years.
all in trouble when the LA
Yeah.
Juniors age up, but
Yeah.
for now we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, but definitely, I mean, your league's minors program. Like I sat here one night and let Night Mary talk for like 4 jams about being a kid, 17 at the time, and talked about being in the minors and how it like helped her go from to deal with she has chronic fatigue is one of the things she deals with, and positional orthostatic tachycardial syndrome, or POTS. I have that.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's a weird thing where you might be able to do roller derby, but then some days you can't really get out of bed. And she
Yeah.
talked about how it, gave her great confidence. Yeah, the minors it's not just about doing roller derby. It's a great way to learn like life skills, get ready for high school. 'Cause
Yes.
High school will kick your butt if you're not ready for it. I'll tell you what.
This is such an important message, and I do hate to interrupt it. We do have a power jam for
we
Arizona.
do. We do. We are
A
back
power
to
jam
it.
with a significant pack advantage because that was 3 penalties in the box for San Diego.
So that's Skarin Jaeger up to a cheer from the Arizona and Bombshells contingent in the bleachers to our left. We got time for one more jam. This will not be the last jam of regulation. As I glanced over at the clock, Jaeger gets through. Arizona's working on the accordion here, and now is going to try to get between those 2 blockers. Malaboomer's out there blocking. Doesn't Malaboomer take a break?
No.
Malaboomer is out there blocking right now.
Speaking of aged out juniors, Malaboomer is our most famous of that group of folks.
So Jaeger around the outside and is going to get up there and get into Hedy's. Hedy gets up there and gets in the way. Jaeger looks up at the clock and is going to let those last few seconds run off. So as we mentioned, there will be one more jam here in regulation. We'll check that score. And we got a second slam jam. don't we?
Oh ho
We got ourselves a second
ho!
Slam Jam, and then Slammerai gives me a dirty look.
We're bringing the
Apparently.
classics out.
That's right. So. All right.
The
so,
only reason that we don't see more Slam Jams is because she's just such a damn good blocker.
yeah.
Because she's also such a good jammer.
Yeah. I would say, like I just said about Wreckham Ralph, I would say Slammerai, one of the best defenders in the
Oh,
country.
100%.
Easily one of the best defenders in the
And
country.
also one of the nicest people I've ever met. One of the nicest and most terrifying.
Skid Vicious gets out for
Yeah,
Arizona
gotta
and
go ahead
quickly
and call it
calls it
off.
off. Arizona not looking
Because
to have
that's
any
the end of the
penalty
clock
jams.
time.
That is the end of regulation.
We're gonna
So
wait.
now-
We're gonna wait and see if anybody managed to figure out how to get a penalty in that 4.5 seconds of play. One never really knows.
We're checking with the infield. Everybody is touching base. Checking in with the jam refs. Bender B. Rodriguez will be the one to give us the signal. If he starts approaching trackside, you will know that that is it for the game.
We gotta respect the final whistle, though.
We do. That is what we're looking
You
for.
know, we can't be jumping ahead.
So everybody's making extra double sure, obviously, being that this is, kind of the most important game
Yeah,
of
we
the
gotta
season.
do some double checking.
That's right. All right. Bender B. Rodriguez is checking in with everybody one more time.
You gotta make sure everybody's on board.
Check with both
We need a
coaches, and we are going to
consensus.
have it.
And in
Final
fact, there
whistle.
you have it.
That
Our
is
final
it.
score is 285 Arizona, 60 San Diego. Give it up for both these teams and for your Battle on the Bank 2025 champions, Arizona Hotshots. Come on down.
Come on down trackside and slap fans. Arizona Hotshots are
The-
back-to-back national champions.
Back to back. Ba, 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 ba.
Arizona doing it in front of the home crowd this time. Battle on the Bank next summer is in Everett, Washington. Tilted Thunder is hosting. So we got that to look forward to. Slightly more temperate weather than here.
All right, get ready to give it up for your Slam Diego Wildfires.
Let's hear it for Slam Diego. Excellent effort. As I said, throughout. Great defense as they played all weekend. Rogue Grammar is making her way around on no skates, but up and okay, as we had said. Obviously got checked on by the medics there heading into the third quarter.
No, she confirmed she's okay.
Yeah. So, comes a little light up ball that Slammerai has. All right.
Thank you, Hetty.
Thank you, Hetty. Appreciate it.
All right,
Okay.
thank y'all so much for sticking it out with us.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for supporting Battle on the
We're
Bank
going to head
2025.
straight into our
Yes,
award
we
ceremony,
are.
which will be streamed, I've just found out from Sandy. And
Yes.
so if you want to stick around and watch those awards be awarded, please do.
If you have partaken of the fizzy beverage today and you should not be driving a car, don't drive a car. I'm leaving not too long after the awards, and I'm not going to the after party, so I literally will drive you home or back to your Airbnb. Freya's going to the after party, so you have that to look forward to. But like I said, do not drive your car if you are not supposed to be driving your car right this second. That's always worth repeating. All right, Say, the voice of the tournament, thank you so much for being here.
And thank you, Clifton. We missed you while you were gone, and we're so glad you were able to make it back.
I appreciate it greatly. We are going to shut things down for the broadcast, the game portion of it, and get out of the way of the awards. Yeah, no, I'm saying I'm going to get off the mic and let Sandy take it over down on the infield, basically. It's going to be streamed. We will see you at RollerCon, perhaps, and if not then we'll see you at Battle on the Bank 2026 next summer in Everett, Washington. Be there.